Okay, I'm trying not to be super crabby because I just filmed that video. Look at all the work I did. I had all these beautiful things to show you. All right, starting over. Okay, so first thing to do, this might seem simple, but I'm gonna tell you just in case, because sometimes the easiest things in life actually are hard. When you get your oil pastels, we wanna open them. And so what you do is you push from one end, the box, and it will slide out the other. They call this a sleeve, and you can actually remove the whole thing. Also noticing I did push up my sleeves, different kind of sleeve, but might as well talk about them both. And these are lovely. They're new. It's called Pentel. I'm very curious to see how they work. In years past, the red of Pentel was more like a chalk texture. I don't know why, because every other color worked, but I'm curious if these are better. Maybe there was something wrong with them. I don't know. They're gonna look new for about a week, and then they're not, and that is okay. In fact, I love old oil pastels better than new, to tell you the truth, because you get through that kind of hard coating on the outside when they're new, and you get to the good mushy stuff. Speaking of, oil pastels are a little mushy, so I kind of think of them as a combination between crayons and paint, and the control of a crayon, but the ability to do some cool stuff as paint. So I'm gonna show you some tricks. First thing I did was I just grabbed a color. This is a light color, and I'm just gonna color. I'm coloring like normal, as if I'm using a crayon or a marker or anything else. And you're gonna probably notice that they're a little slippery, not like, whoa, it's gonna fall out of my hand, but like they slide on the paper smoothly, especially compared to like a crayon. So the first thing I just wanna point out is crumbs. These are not like cookie crumbs. These are little teeny tiny specks of oil pastel. You probably can't even see it, but they can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. So if there's a speck on my paper and I accidentally touch it, it's gonna smear and leave a mark. Maybe that's okay with you. It's okay with me. I usually don't care. I'll turn it into something. Like you can see over here, I had a bunch obviously of crumbs and they got smeared. That's all right. So one of the tricks that I love, and I was gonna use this finger, but now it's dirty, is to smear the oil pastel. So I'm gonna take the oil and I'm gonna push it, push with my clean finger. Now what's happening is it's just slightly moving. It's not enough to fill up a whole space, but I do like that kind of feathery look. I think I do that on purpose. I think it's very pretty. And I can also use that to blend two colors or make it look like they're coming together on purpose. So I grabbed a darker blue and I'm gonna feather that one. I could go either direction at this point. I could feather that way away from it or feather it toward the light one. I'm gonna go toward the light one. Typically I would switch fingers at this point, but because this is light blue, I don't think it's gonna mess up my dark blue. Now I'm pulling. So, and I don't know why I'm doing this little weird thing, but it works. So now I'm pulling the dark blue toward the light blue. And look at that, it almost kind of looks like the shading. We just finished with colored pencil and that was like so much work. I did it over here too. It's way easier with the oil pastel. If I wanted to not like have it blend together and I want to just make sure that it's looking smooth, then you're gonna smear with the line. So one, I was going away from it to make it feathery. The next time to make it smooth, I went with it. Does that make sense? With it? It's going the same direction. Yeah, maybe. Okay, here's something else that's kind of fun. So I'll show you how I did this. I invented a new color. Oh, I know. So I'm gonna take the yellow, because you always wanna start with your lightest colors first when you're blending and mixing. So I'm gonna grab yellow. Again, just coloring as if it's a crayon, just normal, regular old coloring. And then I'm gonna grab the green, and I'm gonna grab this darker green, and I'm just gonna lightly put a layer of the green on top. You know what? I just realized that's not how I made that color, but that's okay. I'll show you this anyway. So it's not a ton, but it's enough that I can now take those two colors and smear them together. So now those lines are gone, and it looks like I created a new color. Now, I could have also just, I don't know, grabbed the actual color of light green, which we'll compare here to see what we think. It's pretty close. Okay, I used yellow and something else to make this. And I forgot about it until I was just sitting here doing this with you. So here I used yellow and green to make that basically this color. Over here I used yellow. I did not use green. I used blue. Interesting. I got the same, basically the same green from two different mixings, which is, I didn't even expect that. So this finger already had some green on it, so I'm gonna use it to blend. And you're gonna notice that like all of a sudden your fingers become just as important as the oil pastels in this project. So I'm just trying to fill in that whole space. Part of it's looking kind of textured where I mixed, part of it's more smooth. Both are good. In fact, sometimes I want the texture on purpose. So down here, that was where I accidentally had some little dots that were smearing. Now I'm gonna do it on purpose. So I think there was that one painting of Alex Janvier where he had little red dots up in the corner. So I'm gonna do the same thing with blue dots. If I wanna mix other colors in there, I could. If I wanna smear them around, kind of make a lighter blue, and still the dots are showing. It's kind of pretty. It's a little bit like a smoky color. Like it's there, but it's not there, kind of foggy. All right, now here's where I realized I wasn't recording on the last video. So I want to show you this because it's kind of fun. I do not have pink in my containers. I do not have pink. So what I have is white. So I'm gonna grab the white, color, which is random, you can't even see it. And then I'm gonna grab the red, and you can see I already did it a little bit. I'm gonna just lightly put some red over the top. Now I need a clean finger. Do I have any left? This one. And now I'm gonna mix those two. Ooh, look at that, I'm making pink. So it was a little bit weird when I made that green because I already had it, but I did not have pink. So if you're finding that you're missing something you really want, maybe you can make it. And if you don't know how, look at the wall. That's not the wall I want to show you. Is that the wall? There we go. The wall of color mixing. So their ingredients for how to make certain colors are right up there on the wall. Okay, what other tricks do I need to tell you? Black is a beautiful color, but it's really heavy, and beware. I tend to keep it till the very end. I don't use black oil pastel until the very end, because if I get those little dots, like I did with the blue, they will quickly overpower the other colors. So I tend to kind of leave it. I'll leave spaces, like if I want that to be black, I'll just leave it alone until the end. What else do I want to tell you? I'll show you this little chart that shows some other tricks on how you can do things with oil pastels. Some of them will work for this project, some of them might not, just because we're using white paper. Sometimes it works differently on different kinds of paper, and sometimes just like different brands, and sometimes different projects, depending on what you're working on. Like there's a scratching thing, and I tried it here and it didn't work. So it's on the chart where you push really, really hard, and then you can take something, not the eraser, but because this is gone, I can use the metal part. And typically you can do something called, oh, it's working, never mind, take that all back. It's called sgraffito, where you can scratch through. Where is it? There it is. It's very subtle. It's just got a little bit of curly Q where I scratch with this. Now beware, if you are a person who's gonna try to erase later, that somebody might have oil pastel on here. So wipe it off with a paper towel. Same thing with your fingers. Actually, let's talk about that right now. At the end of art, we gotta clean our fingers. It's trickier than you think it would be. What you're gonna do is go get a piece of paper towel, get 2 pumps of soap, pump, a little bit of water, and then get out of the way. So you're gonna take it almost like you've created your own wipe. You're just gonna step away from the sink because it's gonna get real crowded over there, and you're just gonna take that wet paper towel with a little bit of soap and scrub your fingers. In fact, if you don't even get it done in time, you can walk out the door with this little wet paper towel and wash it on your way down the hall. All right, cannot wait to see what you do with oil pastels today. It's gonna be beautiful.